I was browsing videos earlier. I was curious, just generally curious around different topics, and I'm starting to see some different messaging. I actually think it's good. However, I think some people are, I don't want to say misled because that's probably not accurate. It's more like they're not doing clean analysis. And I figured I would put my 2 cents in there because why not? So, there are people, this is normal, and I want people to get rid of your emotional set because I know that's kind of the default. It should not be your default. Your default should be your analytic set. Your analytic set should simply listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth and just process. Think, process, no emotions. Don't get triggered, don't get set off because you know what I'm telling you to be the truth. There are people who come to channels like mine, like others, and you come in because you were either just generally browsing around and somebody had, some stupid thumbnail of them looking shocked up at something, right? And that just set you off and you figured, okay, I'll just see what this is about. You're just generally curious. There's others where you see the title and the title inspired you to take a look at it and see what the heck's going on with the thing. There's others where the algorithm has been, quote, influenced to put it forth to you, to recommend it to you. And you clicked on it because it was recommended. So sure, why not? There's people who are subscribers of said channel and they get the updates and they look at the updates and look what's going on. There are referrals, there are recommendations, there's social media posts. The origin of you coming to a channel is varied. There's tons of different ways you get to a channel. I think the flaw and this is not just even YouTube, it's everywhere, although I would argue YouTube is probably the worst offender, is that people come to videos with something in their mind and they're looking for validation. And that I think is a flaw. I don't think you should come to a thing looking for validation unless if you're looking on how to install, how to build, right? You're looking for how to do a thing, instructions, how to cook. Then you're looking for validation, right? I think I need to boil the water for 10 minutes. I just want to verify that's the case. Yeah. That makes perfect sense. But when you're talking about something like cryptocurrency, I know for a fact that almost to a T, you have heard literally everybody say a variation of the same thing, that being that you have to start making up your own mind about what you want to do with your cryptocurrency and your wallet, your portfolio. Now, some of them will spin it a little bit and they will lean you, aka influence you, quote, into a certain cryptocurrency for whatever reason. However, you'll hear them always kind of add verbiage designed to caveat that is intended to say, make up your own mind. Think about it and make up your own mind. If you've heard my channel for any period of time here on the YouTube channel or the podcast at cryptotalkradio.net, you would have heard me frequently say, I can't tell you whether to do a thing or not. You're going to have to make up your own mind. Even for those projects I think are crap, right? You always hear me say that. Even for the projects I think are crap, I recommend you take a look at it. And the reason is because I am sharing my thoughts, not just as a crypto auditor as I am, but also as somebody who is looking at it from an investor lens of somebody that's considering a project and the types of things that I evaluate when I look at it so you can learn something. So you can learn what is it that I'm looking at and why do I find them to be problematic? Some people come back and they say, well, those are just aesthetics. And that tells me people don't understand why certain things matter, despite my every effort to explain it. And it should be obvious to people. The thing is, there are people in cryptocurrency, and these are the people, being honest with you, I'll be candid with you. These people I'm about to describe, they're not the people who should come to my channel. They should never come to my channel. There are people in cryptocurrency, and I know because I was one of these in October-ish, or actually September-ish, who only get in and they see some story or they see some tweet or they see some garbage that told them that this cryptocurrency, they bought in at day one, they sat on it and became a millionaire, sold, became a millionaire. They see this. They see it over and over again in various outlets, right? Again, I said in YouTube, you're directed to videos multiple different ways. So you've heard that there. You've seen it on social media somewhere. You saw it on the mainstream media somewhere. And despite my every effort, I can't get people to understand that there are over 300 million just Americans. There's over a billion people in the world. There's over 300 million Americans. If I say just America alone, the statistics for you to become a millionaire in cryptocurrency are arguably the same as you becoming a millionaire off of the lottery. Because if you think about it, for you to buy a lottery ticket, just one lottery ticket, it's pretty dang cheap, right? $1, $2, $3, $5, right? But think of how many statistically you would need to purchase in order to get to odds that would make it likely for you to become a millionaire off that garbage. Now, some people are like that. I see people who have retired and they spend part of their retirement income buying lottery tickets left and right. And that's like the Matrix to me. I am never going to do that. It doesn't make sense to me personally. In cryptocurrency, if you buy into some new project, let's take SHIB. Why not? The people that made millions off of SHIB, I guarantee you, they were not the ones who spent $10, $50. Were there ones that likely could have? Yes, but they're on the inside. I'm talking people in the public. They didn't spend that. They would have had to have spent like $1,000 in that bad boy in order for it to hit $1 million. And it wasn't solely because of passage of time. It was because of the level of investment. Again, goes to how many lottery tickets you buy into the business. So if you're that one who feels like I got the $1,000 to throw at a thing, by all means, I'm saying it's no different than buying $1,000 worth of lottery tickets because it's about the same odds if all you're triggered off of is becoming a millionaire. So I was watching a video and this person was critical of one of the YouTubers because, and I paraphrase what they said, but they were critical because of the quote pissing match that's happening in cryptocurrency. And the pissing match, the reason, so he's not wrong that there's a pissing match. The flaw in what he's saying is he's blaming the YouTuber when the truth is not all, but the vast majority of YouTubers out there are simply stating opinions, are simply providing a message, and are entitled to their opinion. And then what happens is the crypto community, the cults that are out there, get overly defensive, aka triggered, as the kids say, and they have to feel like they got to defend a thing. Even if what the YouTuber said or the podcaster said was not directly attacking or detrimental, but simply factual statements observed from publicly available information. Now, this is different than somebody like On-Chain, who, by the way, for those listening, is back on YouTube. So the band didn't do any good. So with On-Chain is purposely, like his whole gimmick, his whole shtick is to be antagonistic, is to be a quote heel, is to come across like he's attacking to set somebody off. That's his whole gimmick. So he says a lot of stuff, and there's some factual in what he says. It's the gimmick and how he presents it. He's presenting it as if he's trying to prove a point, right? So if that's the case, that's the gimmick, then people respond. And then he gets views and he gets comments, which influences the algorithm, which causes his videos to be prioritized higher. So he wins because he sets everybody off with, in some cases, information that's factual, and in other cases, non-factual. So he knows the game. He's a very intelligent person because he knows the game. The pissing match that's being described by this other one, I found ironic because that person has not unplugged from the matrix. They don't understand that when you create these cult situations with cryptocurrency, where all you can think of is just, I got to go and defend that thing. I got to go say something. I got to go respond. I got to go tweet back. I got to go do this. I got to do that. That quote pissing match is being set off, triggered, initiated, instantiated, established by the cryptocurrency communities because they have turned into cults, largely driven by the people who run the project because those people promote that. In most cases, not all. So there would not be a pissing match if the people that were getting into cryptocurrency were reasonable in what they would do, which is, I can take criticism of my project. I'm not looking at it to try to be a millionaire overnight, and I understand it's going to take some time. I see that my project's website sucks. I see that my project sucks at marketing. I see that my devs are incompetent because they gave all the liquidity to the idiot Vitalik. Like, you're reasonable and you understand the same thing you can see. If we were dealing with reasonable people, they wouldn't be in the project in the first place. There are other people commenting now saying, yes, I'm in cult. I'm not impressed. Okay, great. I want you to think about why you're not impressed. You're not impressed because you're looking at the price of your cult. The price of your cult is down, has been trending down, despite the pumps with Ethereum. Then once Ethereum goes down, it's even worse. What I said is, your marketing sucks, period. And I get attacked 10 ways to Sunday simply because I say their marketing sucks. But then somebody else goes out there and straight up calls it a rug pull scam. A rug pull scam. And that person was wrong, because I don't think it's a scam. I think it's ill thought out. I think their marketing sucks, and I think they don't know what the heck they're doing, and they're a bunch of kids. That's what I said. I didn't say they're a scam at all. You've never heard me say it. So who's initiating a pissing match? If I say your marketing sucks, why does that initiate a pissing match? If this was mainstream business, they would say, let's call that person in a room. Let's get their thoughts and ideas about how we can improve our marketing message, because we see that, yes, our sales are going down and we'd like to do something about it. And it seems like that person cares enough to speak about our product in order to try to help us. So let's call them in there, and maybe we'll even offer them a job and pay them $175,000 if it works. That's the way mainstream works, because that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to want your product to succeed and go up, not just get set off and triggered and attack somebody because you are so overly defensive because you're so worried about your bag. So the pissing match that's being described is being initiated one-sided. It's not being initiated two-sided. Many of the people that come to YouTube, and I'll target YouTube because that's where the vast majority of this is, who make statements that are designed to set off like an on-chain and designed to influence the algorithms, do so because they know that many of you that I'm describing are fickle, and that you get set off easy, and that you're going to be overly defensive, and that you're going to come to the channel and you're going to heavily comment and act on it and interact with it, which influences the algorithm in his favor. He knows that. So since he knows that, you got to think of why he's able to know that. He's able to know that because it's true that the vast majority of crypto defenders out there, they just can't help themselves but to go and just react. Where I've always said in literally every video at this point is people need to listen to the totality of my audio. And that's all I care about. And there is some factual truth that listening to the totality of audio also influences algorithms. However, if you listen to the totality of my audio and you were reasonable about it, you would realize, you know what, this guy's actually pretty dang level and neutral compared to a lot of the other ones out there. Because I'm a podcaster, I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a podcaster, and I speak on what I see. And I speak on things that you see. Now, it could be the interpretation is different. So you come at me and say, I have a different interpretation. I'd like to talk it out with you. Great. And I'll welcome you to the show and we can talk it out. All the people that are attacking then, when I say I want that smoke, I have a live, it's on every week. If they don't show up, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm not going to chase, which I told another crypto project. I'm not going to chase you. You come to my show and you come on my terms and try to learn something, and you're welcome to, and I will help, because my goal is to try to help at the end of the day. I'm not going to chase. I don't need to. I do the coverage I do, and it doesn't matter if you do or don't like it because it's my show. At the same time, though, I always cover based on things you see. And then I add, here's what I see, here's my takeaway, and here's my thoughts on what's going to happen. And so far, I'm batting full here. Okay, I have not, the only one I haven't gotten fully 100%, 100% solid, accurate yet, correct, is Dex Finance. And even with Dex Finance, I simply said these types of projects that are trying to act with banking terms and investment terms, I don't think will last in the long haul. I don't think so, and I'll never support them. That's all I said. And it's because we've seen so many die like Stacked Finance. So for those out there that feel like, yes, crypto's a pissing match, you're absolutely correct. You are correct. It's a pissing match. But what's missing in the equation is you have to understand why it's a pissing match. It's a pissing match because many of you are getting set off, and you're basically a cult, and you create this tribalism because the leaders of whatever project have convinced you and manipulated you into staying plugged into the matrix. And you're no longer reasonable investors. And so you're no longer able to accept criticism and you just get set off. And meanwhile, you're playing right into the hands of those on YouTube who know how to influence the algorithms in their favor by using your hatred to their financial advantage. And you don't understand this. Now, listen, if you don't care because you have to feel like you're a defender. You have to hold the line. Go for it. Go for it. But as I said at the top of the show, anybody who's coming to my channel trying to look for qualification, trying to look for validation, trying to have me validate their thoughts, you're in the wrong place, brother, sister. You're in the wrong place. I'm never going to validate somebody's opinion or thoughts. That's not what I'm here for. I'm going to cover what I cover, and I expect you to take the information, and I expect you to do your own research and make your own decision, because there will be times you emphatically disagree with me. All I said was, if and when I get it right, you come back, give my credit. That's all. That's all I ask. I don't ask you. If you listen to my videos and audio, you'll hear I've never pitched for like, subscribe, do. I don't, because the YouTube channel is simply an extension show. It's not something that I am building specifically. People will follow. If they follow, if they don't, they don't. That's great. I provide the information out there as a secondary source, and it actually happens to be a different podcast show for me. And the podcast show, it has its own growth that happens through Spotify. So that's why if you hear everybody else, they got the buttons and subscribe to this and like this and do, and they ask for comments, they ask for everything else. I'll ask for comments if you have questions, and that's about it. I don't ask for likes or subscribes because at the end of the day, I believe the information should either encourage you to sign up and like and subscribe without me having to ask you, or it wasn't good enough and it's not worth doing it. So me asking you to do it feels like a pittance, and I don't need to. I don't need the pity. I don't need it. So, summary, I welcome anybody coming to the show that wants to learn something about how we do analysis, how we do the coverage, the kinds of things we look for, the kinds of things that we think matter, because so far, those fundamentals had never steered us wrong. We see that those projects eventually crap and or fail. And so we have identified a pattern of what to look for to get to those so we know what to avoid. And there have been people that have thanked us because we have helped keep their money safe from some project that eventually was able to crap out. And we learned a lot from projects like EarnHub and seeing many projects now, because a lot of these projects are just copying everybody else. All right, cool. That means I can just watch the pattern and see when it forms again and know that there's already a risk fresh out the gate. Doesn't mean I'm telling you not to invest. I'll always tell you, here's the site address. If you want to go look at it, I do encourage you to do so. And I do. Don't come back at me like a cult member, all pissy and angry and upset and triggered because I say that your project's marketing sucks. What you should do is say, it sounds like he's actually trying to help us here. He's trying to help us get successful, and he's observed something that sucks. And yes, I see that our site looks like an outlaw mud show. So maybe we should listen to what he's got to say and some suggestions about how we improve our site to improve our bottom line. Otherwise, if you're not in it to make any money, great. Just come back and say, I'm not in this to make any money. I like the people. I like the community. It's all cool. Great. Then it doesn't matter, really. My video wouldn't even matter at all, because I'm talking about fundamentals for people that want to make money. And that's all. Hopefully, we have a better week. We are in August, and hopefully we get the bull run that I estimated, and hopefully no other project craps us again. Ethereum started going down, so we're going to check it in later. And for our updates tomorrow on the podcast at cryptotalkradio.net, we will check and see where we're at and where we look like we're going. And then I'm going to do extensive coverage on the Coinbase situation with the SEC as per one of our triad members who requested that we do a little bit more extended coverage. So we will be doing that as well. And I'll have segments of that on the main podcast for that side. And then I'll have segments of it on the YouTube channel as well.